MCG Explore Design, John Weir. I love film, but I'm an architect, so I'm kind of trapped in between two places. Both are in the realm of creativity, which is where I live. Love it. It's a 40-year-old company. I came to the business in 92, been there 30 years, the only job I've ever had. You see Concourse Edition, the whole airport, North Terminal Airport, Sports Arena, UA Sports Arena, Clark Middle School, Polaris, Chugach Optional, Airport Heights, College Gate, Cook Inlet, Native Head Start.
The new Alaska Airlines hangar?
Alaska Airlines hangar.
So not very much work is what you're saying.
You guys have done some buildings.
So we do about $200 million worth of design construction support a year. Actually, I had a consultant suggest that we do a film. This is maybe 8 years ago. I studied film in college for my master's degree, and so I was shocked, like, oh, maybe I should do that. So we interviewed a couple people, and Kyle comes in. He's got his hat backwards, shows up, all hip. And I was like, and young, right? And I was like, all right, I love young people who have their confidence to come into a company that's been around for 40 years, who's interested in doing new content, and rocks the world. And I convinced my leadership to spend some coin to start the film process. And it is an epic story. At MCG, it's about relationships. It's about the engagement. And the byproduct is the buildings. And that's the thing that I love about hybrid color, is that it's largely about telling a story, helping us engage in a storytelling process that reveals the underlying creative quotient that comes out of that. And for me, it was a level up moment where I could say to myself, oh, like there's no possible limit to what we could do together. Mm-hmm. That created, we're doing 12 different film initiatives simultaneously, as well as capturing client perspective on what it's like to work as a team, as a collaborative.
Yeah, like what does an actual team look like? Is super interesting. I mean, it's this weird mix of like we both are trying to get toward the same goal together, and being honest about like what's actually happening. Like, hey, this isn't working. Like you were very honest with me up front. At first, I was like, holy cow, this guy's like, yeah, this ain't it. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, wait. It was kind of cool to work through that with you, to like be like, okay, he can actually say, I don't like this, and still be happy with like where we're going to get with it.
I think the broader question is, you did not know what we did.
Yeah, I was just like, cool, you guys build buildings, we get it. Like that was pretty much where I was at the time. And so, yeah, for us to, I guess when the more I went through working with you guys, I realized architects do very much what we do. Design, the way you think, is very creative.
You give me this directive, I deliver it, you pay me this much, we move on. I think the more that you intertwine and get close to that relationship and that true collaboration, even a friendship like with you, John, that's where the magic happens with your clients.
We can just do so much more. Like it's hard to level up when you're trying to like make something that you hope you don't get in trouble for.
Where's my lane, right? But also, where do we lattice together to level up the conversation so that I can help produce the main idea, but then step back and let you guys be creatives, do the thing that you need to do to make it beautiful, right? I'm always fascinated around what that process looks like.
Yeah,
and
different for a lot of people.
It is. I mean, I use different technology than you do.
Yeah, but
our interests are similar, right? We're interested in, at least I know that Hybrid Color and MCG are interested in understanding the value of creativity, that it has a value that levels up everything from understanding the monetization of value for creativity to, making our place better, our culture, our community better, because we're telling our story. And in a lot of ways, telling your story is part of really understanding yourselves, and really understand the partnership and the collaboration that takes to do it together. It's about we, not me. And we have to do that in order to level up.
That's kind of where the magic happens. I've noticed that clients that, and it's not necessarily our fault or their fault, it's just how it happens. If we don't have that, then that client typically is a one-time client.
I'm privileged to work with really creative people.
Yeah.
And so Peter Briggs is a landscape architect, and he told me, fail fast, right? Make sure you fail fast. Try all the good things that you think are good to get to no, so you can get to yes.
I actually just had a question. How has Kyle's swag and attire evolved over the years?
Oh, yeah. I mean, all of a sudden he's
all
like...
these different versions.
Yeah, I'm creating a new brand. Right?
Yeah, I've moved around a bit. I had to clear.
What's your new? What's the latest brand? Salt Hunter, right?
Yeah, the latest
all of a
Salt
sudden, he's
Hunter.
like,
I got this like fisherman dad. Like I told Howdy the other day, yesterday. I called him like, bruh, I just mowed my lawn. My shoes are green and dirty, dude. Dad life. We're over here doing work. John was like, don't cut your lawn. Why are you cutting your lawn? That's such a waste of time. I called him. He called me.
I'm like, what the fuck are you doing cutting your lawn?
I don't cut my lawn either.
I know.
Dude,
somebody else cuts it?
Oh, yeah. I pay somebody to cut it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dude, but I feel like when I get on the mower,
club, brother.
when I'm on the mower and I'm just cutting my lawn,
It's
like
a vibe.
I'm being all
whoa,
strategic.
Whoa. Did you say on the mower?
He's got a rider.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's a lawn tractor,
okay,
dog. I'm
that's
just riding,
different.
dog. I'm
That's
just
a
riding.
different deal.
Yeah, dude.
All right. I'm
Yeah.
a pusher. And then
Yeah,
I was like,
no,
fuck
dude.
this.
I'd just
I'm
be
done
cruising because
pushing.
I'd be putting it on slow and I'd be like, I think I got combined a little more footage out of Garrett's interview. I don't know though. Maybe I need to talk to John about that. And then John would be like, yo, man, what are you doing? Call up and be like, what are you cutting your grass for, idiot? That's how the conversation went.
It did.
Like, exactly
like that. Like, I mean, your value is, your highest and best use is,
Yeah.
We talk about.
I
highest
like
and best
building
use.
stuff.
Well,
It's like, what are your passions?
No,
you like to do gardening.
What I will tell you is that
stuff like
hybrid
that.
color, I mean, your and our relationship has changed dramatically from when we met.
Yeah, 100%.
And I use metaphors.
And we've been through some hard times too.
We have.
Remember?
Yeah,
we
we
were like,
have.
bro, we work with you anymore because we ain't there. And then there was like a big gap where we were like not really working together just because of like
we had
state
a
of
downturn.
the State of the Union for
Yeah.
sure. And like I know,
Yeah.
but it was funny because you and I stayed in touch about it. And I think at that time I was like, this is very interesting that even though I'm not working with him, I still see value in our.
Well,
How long had you guys been together working before that time happened?
It was not
and then
that
you
long.
stayed in touch.
It was like a while.
So I'm an early adopter of people that I know are super creatives, and Kyle's super creative. So when you work with super creatives, you know that you're going to get something from that, as well as kind of a give and take. And I, at my age, I'm a mentor, and I wanted to, and I love film, so.
Yeah.
I wanted to get into a relationship mainly because it was easy,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you're easy to talk to. You're also the coolest thing, Jesse, from our relationship is that he's told me no.
Him and
right?
I being friends as long as we have, him telling me no is more common, but to hear it from a client is interesting.
Yeah, so he'll be like, can you unpack that a little bit? Unpack it. And he's like, maybe you should get a little bit more acute. And I was like, whoa, acute, right? Like focused, right?
Trigger word for John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So it's like, you like the ideas were good, but like even I'm starting. I mean, it's like when you get to a certain level in film, you could just make what the client asks, but it's like, what are our goals and what are our objectives and how do we get there? And is film the best way to do it? And how do we actually do that?
I've learned a lot about what we can do better working with hybrid color. Mainly because you can pivot quickly. You're nimble. You're able to develop content quickly. you're great about asking the right questions, right? I mean, that elicits the kind of dialogue that you want to have.
Intimacy. We have we get pretty intimate here.
It's a way to allow the client to feel empowered about the ideas that are happening together collaboratively, where it's more of a connected idea versus here's what I think you should do, which is control in a way. And I feel like the hybrid color does a good job of being more, hey, I think you should do it this way.
You'll tell me and give me ideas of where you're at with things, and then I'll suggest like this is an approach that we could take.
I'll have in my head as if I'm almost the client. I come to Kyle, I have this idea, okay, I got it, I want this, and then I'll put it down, and then he'll be like, well, after intaking it, he'll be like, why don't you think about it this way? And then I'll just be like, half second of irritation because I've spent so much time and effort and passion on it.
That's
right?
okay.
And then he'll be like, think about it this way, and I will. And then I'll be like, oh God, that makes so much more sense. So there's an element of like, back to that, me and him are obviously together, but with the client, if that client has just a shred of creativity and vulnerability to let their initial idea go and are open to suggestion, it almost turns into like an education from us to the client. And then they're becoming more and more and more creative.
You're bringing them along in the conversation. And we've worked, I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I've worked with all kinds of different clients. And I try to make every experience really engaged, really valuable.
Meaningful.
Yeah.
I always say that, meaningful, like if we're going to do something together, like let's actually like enjoy the time we're here together with each other and like actually be excited when we leave, like shoot, like we'll do a shoot together and then you'll like be on the phone with me on the drive home about it.
Right. I know. It's like,
dude,
hey, motherfucker, that was like on fucking point.
That was tight.
Right? Like,
yeah, like, dude, you see the shot?
Did
like, yeah, remember when he, yeah.
Like the thing with Chud, I was like, what?
And then I say, but then I get it, but then that gets me excited, and then I send you the video of Chud.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm like, this is great. Like, and this dude actually talked about, like, this is unbelievable to me. Like, I don't know, I guess the vulnerability that I've seen your clients have with you is incredible. But the ability for you to tease that out of your clients and get them to speak on it like that is great. And we're doing the same thing with you. Like, you're being vulnerable with us. Yeah. You're like, hey, this is how I feel about these guys. Like, HPM was here just saying great things, and it's like, man, these are people that can talk openly together professionally like that is like the best.
Well, and while he was here, you can see there was a point you guys were talking. I walked over to him, and he's literally just like looking off in the distance, and I'm like, I can see the wheels turning, right? And he's just like, what are the possibilities?
Yeah,
you know,
it's like other people that feel the possibility are like, what can we do together? Like,
and all you had to do is bring him into the loop.
I know.
Yeah, like it's also all it is. Like, hey,
walk him in the front door and have a 2-minute conversation.
I'm trying to isolate the kind of people that I know want to elevate what they're doing and tell their story. And hybrid color tells a story the best. They have a process that is relaxing, engaging, fun. Guys are great to work with, and at the end of the day, when I look at the initial film screening, I'm just blown away.
You've seen us since day one, so you've been to, haven't you been to every studio we've been at?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been to every location. Yeah. So even
Diamond?
Yeah.
Oh,
the very first one. Yeah. He's been to every one of them. So he can even see the iteration of like,
oh yeah,
like even like how you guys like we understood it's wild because hybrid specifically like we've moved spaces. Like we always talk about like the first space and then the second space and the third space, and like that space was important, and we like I learned a lot of that from MCG. And like he could talk to that probably.
Space culture.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah.
The value.
And he talks about that a lot.
The
value of actually thinking of a space more than just a location you are.
Yeah.
you know, what does it do for your mind? What does it do for, you know, your
That's how
productivity?
architects think. That's how architects think.
Well, I mean, we work for the Department of Defense, right?
Yeah.
So I got one of the key project managers with the Air Force telling me, man, I'd love to come to your office. You got the coolest goddamn office. It's so cool. I feel creative when I come in. And so
that's valuable.
It's got all the
'cause
airplanes
environment matters,
hanging.
man.
And
It's valuable.
yeah.
I mean, it's just like you have planes, you have Nerf guns. It's weird. Like, and we even leaned into that for some of the video.
Hybrid Color has had this evolved out of this, hey, we're making videos, to, hey, we make film, right? And that's sometimes a cultural shift for me.
And it's weird because film is actually celluloid being like exposed and stuff. Like, so the idea of film is like, people don't do it anymore, but yeah, like,
fuck
the
you.
nostalgia.
It's film
dude.
for me.
Yeah, facts.
Okay.
I believe
It's always film for John.
Yeah, it's film.
And-
It should
and
always be film.
Do you remember when we were talking
Hybrid
and I was
color.
like, oh, value of video? And you're like, that should be film. And
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
know.
well,
And
we
he's
don't want to
like-
scare people away.
Yeah, what
You
people
know
need
what I
to
mean?
know is like, yeah, I'm
exactly.
gonna put some film on my Instagram. Like,
Yeah, okay. Anyway, you know, I've seen the company evolve in a way that's been really refreshing. I saw a complete culture shift in terms of the not necessarily confidence, but this ability to say, hey, we hit the mark. We want to reinforce our culture, you know, inside of Hybrid Color so we can reflect that to our clients. And that kind of reflectivity is great because it shows them that you understand the broader picture with other clients who understand that they need to have a kind of presence in their office, in their firm culture, to do what they do. Like, I'm going to say imaging associates, right? They have a really great model. You go there, it's like a spa, right, for imaging. And I have somebody who in my office that has gone there, and they told me that third party. It's like, yeah, it was a really great experience. So I feel like that kind of attention to detail with clients is special, completely special.
Kyle would always say, like, I've learned a lot from John and the crew at MCG about what a space does to people.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a lot of times when we were building the space out that I was like, Kyle had a vision of what he wanted to do, and my job is to push back, right, all the time. But, you know, I quickly understood where he was going, and now you really see it when, in getting back to, like, the premieres and stuff that we have with people, when they walk in. I don't know if you've seen Toy Story with the claw and the aliens.
Oh, yeah.
They all go, whoa. And that's every client's reaction when they walk in the front
client,
door for the
person,
first time.
everyone. Like,
Yeah,
it's a great thing to have.
So
sets-
I'll just back up and say Speakeasy, right?
Yeah.
The Speakeasy premiere pilot that we did was epic.
I mean, the exercise,
Lasers,
not even just, I mean,
big, giant bayliner. I mean, the versatility of the space. And then the premieres that have leveled up and up and up, experience-wise, is more cinema than just like, here, can you just check the box and say, this is a really good first run.
makes things memorable, dude. Like, you like remember when you saw that, like, gosh, it was so good. Because like you could, I mean, some people can see it on a screen and be like, wow, I can actually feel the energy and the story there. But gosh, sound and the picture just does so much, and having that like earth shattering like feeling of like, oh man, this is like give me goosebumps. We've been working on insights and inspirations.
Yes.
To deep dive into the insights and inspirations to people at MCG, what that really means. So Sam has just come off a fresh finish of one of our edits of Sid Casey Key. It's a good one. And we'll let John go ahead and review it and see how he's feeling. This is real time.
There's been a emphasis ever since I started here as an intern on allowing myself to embrace leadership opportunities, or as John would say, agency. If I have an idea, then I should follow through with it and not wait necessarily for everyone to give me the thumbs up. If someone gave me the green light, like, see if it's gonna work. And that's been applied to projects, that's been applied to professional opportunities. And yeah, it's been a big emphasis on agency to allow me to become a professional.
So goddamn good. Sorry. I just, you know, I got to follow up on.
Let's
Rob.
go, Sam. Big round of applause for Sam.
Woo!
Sam Hybrid.
Sam,
go ahead.
nice
Sam,
job.
John, are you getting a little choked up?
Sam, lean in here. Yeah, yeah, it's what he does. It's like it's crazy because it's like film is so many things more than just like making video. It's like we're showing John's work, his life's work. He's showing Casey's ideology. You're showing like all. It's not just like
Casey's coming
stuff.
of age.
It's
Her breakthrough. She's
something's
having.
happening.
Yeah, so
It's fun to watch.
yeah, so that's been my fun watching you in your growth with Hybrid Color.
Yeah, it's like been.
To
It's
just like
it's twofold.
just like, I mean, Hybrid Color has blown up because of your crew. Everybody, you, Jesse, Kyle, Sam. Nice fucking job.
Hey, thanks, John. By the way,
Trey.
we have a campaign going
Trey
on
back
within Hybrid to not only talk about Kyle. It's a group effort here, team effort.
It's like it's
Did
an
I not
initiative.
spread the love? Did I not?
No, he
Kyle,
did.
Kyle's
He
like,
did.
I really need to be better about giving you guys credit.
Oh, trust me,
Yeah,
like
trust
2
me,
minutes.
I'm in the same fucking boat.
it's a
Trust
bad
me.
habit I picked up from John. He's
2
like,
minutes.
yo, hey,
2 minutes later.
hey, Jesse, can you go over there and talk about like me and like, hold on, let me get some music. Hey, now go ahead, talk about me.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes later, Kyle will be on a Zoom call. Be like, yeah, I really felt that I should do that, and I think it's great. And I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, so Casey is a case study in what MCG does for the growth.
Yeah.
Is it
Total
back
case
up a little
study.
bit? What goes through your mind when you're watching that piece?
Okay, so when I make Casey intern, yes, sir, because she came from she'll tell you, she's a military brat. She's been all over the world, and yes, sir, and pleaser. And I watched her change from pleaser to maker, right? To taking the agency that was given to her and run with it and do things that people just want permission to do in a lot of ways.
Like I learned a lot of that from you is actually looking through a problem, like understanding like, okay, like I see a problem, but if I just stop for 1 second, quit freaking out, like I can actually see what's happening.
Yeah.
And I can see the solution on the other side. And I just, okay, like,
No,
let's go.
That's actually a really good conversation the three of us have had about lensing through the problem, right? Don't look at it. Because when you look at it, you're just polarized. Christ, what am I going to do?
Yeah, hold on, I
Versus-
got you. Say that again. Christ, what am I going to do?
Christ, what am I going to do?
That's our new soundbite for the
That was a
next
good
show.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a big deal when you're just polarized around a problem. When I think about that in relation to make it visible, make what we do visible, and working with hybrid color, I know that that story, that message will be teased out, will be highly produced, and it will be cinema quality, where I'm just like, I have to watch it again and again and again because it's so good.
We don't have a ton of time left, but let's just talk one last thing about.
Ton of time left. It's
Yeah.
Dude,
we're trying to get to radical growth. Okay, you know you're already
all right.
there.
Hey,
So
I can bring it.
so
Moving the needle with hybrid color, helping us to engage with our clients, has been a game changer. We use the films that we make together to express an internal image. Who are we? Who are you? And how do our projects impact community? And hybrid color is exceptional at the process and the product for making that real. I've had clients and employees or potential employees go to the site, watch the films, and clients will say, even though we gave them a paper exercise, at the interview, hey, I did go to your website, I checked out the films, and that was a tipping point for me. Telling your story visually is way more impactful than in our profession, and it has had a drastic impact on what we do.
We did Why We Draw.
Why We Draw.
And, you know, I probably see 90% of the stuff we do, you know, because it's just coming through and it's going out, and I'll find something that's been a little while and I'll watch it and I'll be like, dude, this is like,
Why We Draw slaps.
Dude,
so
Why We Draw
is
slaps.
craft.
So craft. So getting back, it's like when hybrid works with someone, how do we show them this is how we dissect what we do? And I looked at Kyle after watching the Why We Draw trailer, and I said, dude, where is our Why We Draw?
Why do you make one of that?
So,
Because that piece, that campaign, if you will.
You guys are so saturated with content that the why we draw, why we film, why we tell stories.
I grew up on a lake. I had a lake in the backyard. I rarely went out to the lake. It's like we film and do everything for everyone else all the time. We never do it for ourselves. Yeah. And we're trying, like,
part of this exercise.
Part of what we're doing is, like, that's my big directive.
Yeah.
Is we need to take the time to do it for ourselves.
Yeah. So MCG spends a lot of money on sweat equity, trying to get the work. And
heard that.
Yeah. And we count on our relationship with Hybrid Color to help us build our message. And this idea of make what we do visible to create value around creativity, the value of creativity, the way it impacts our community. And I can tell you with force and verb that Hybrid Color has chops. You four, you guys get it. You know how to tell a story. You know how to tease it out, right? Because not every client's going to be a producer.
We got a super team for sure. Our guys here are fucking talented.
Yeah, so,
sure.
But not every client's going to be MCG's.
No. You guys are the harder one because you guys give us so much freedom. Whereas, like, you know, they're like, which is why even conversationally we put boxes. I mean,
yeah, that's why you do that to me.
Yeah, I do that to you. I'm like, okay,
like, is that really?
Like we gotta like hone that down. So it's like I feel like sometimes people may even see things we do and be like, I wouldn't even know how to get there. And it's like, that's part of the fun. Is how do you get there?
Yeah, well, that's
like seeing a building that you guys built. Like their probably client was like, whoa. I mean, that constantly happens. I'm sure they're like, damn, I never thought it'd look like this.
Today we're Explore Design, which I think is really on point with what we're doing. We have a bead on what's going on, and we're here to support the community, contractors, to build buildings to help our community make real and meaningful change. Bringing Hybrid Color into that fold, to be part of that messaging, to be part of that story, is essential for success community-wide, right? It's not about segments. It's about a collection of putting companies together to make change. Because I can't do it alone. I can't do it even in my company. I got to connect with companies that understand the value of that kind of messaging. And that takes time. It takes commitment. But I know I've got that with Hybrid Color because you guys are the jam.
All right. So, I mean, I think I'm good with that. Yeah, we could talk forever. Let's wrap there because this is an exercise. We don't want to let it go too long. But what we mine from this will be valuable to, obviously, this won't be our last session.
Peace.
Pretty interesting, huh?
Peace out.